gathered here today to give thanks to the Creator for all that He has given us. We thank Him for the SCARE organization and all the services that they provide to our Indian community. We thank you for the health and well-being of all the community members that are a part of the SCARE program, as well as those that live in the community. We ask special blessings upon those that are infirmed, those that have lost loved ones, that they may be well again and be whole and be a part of the community. We ask the blessings upon all events that are taking place at the SCARE program, that it may help our Native American community here in San Diego. We ask special blessings upon the Michaels family, that they will continue to be well and protected from any diseases that are in our area, especially the COVID-19 and all its variants. We thank you for all the things that you give us this day. We ask also that you put special blessings upon our family members that are stuck at the border, that they may come home and contribute and prosper. The Haitians that are also stranded in that area, that they also may find a home and prosper. The Afghanistans, that their country may open up their arms to them, that they will be able to live whole again as they always have in the history of that country. We thank you for this Thanksgiving that is coming up, and that we are thankful for the things that you have allowed us to be as a part of our being. We thank you for all the things that you have given us this day. Aho Dawki, thank you.
Meha, it's me again, Steve. Thank you for taking your time out to be with us today. And with the holidays coming up, and yes, I say holidays because so many different people have so many different ways, and we have our own as well. And so to all of you, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, however you celebrate. This is another song for the people. We always like to set the tone of what we're doing here. And so thank you again, and happy holidays. Happier because stay happy in the holidays.
All right, hello everybody and welcome back. That was a nice flute song played by Stephen Garcia. I always love hearing his flute songs. My name is Julie DeFilippi, and I've worked with SCARE for 5 years. I'm a 2P youth coordinator, and I also help a little bit in the office. Welcome to Holiday Health and Nutrition, and I will have my other cohorts in action introduce themselves.
Hi everybody, welcome to our video class today. My name is Kathy Wilcutt. I am Lakota. I was born on Cheyenne River Reservation in South Dakota. My father is from the Rosebud Reservation as well. Today's class, I'm also the cultural educator here at SCARE for our 2B program, which is Tobacco Use Prevention Education. And I teach about sacred tobacco and plant medicine. So today we have on this table traditional foods. We have smoking mixture that I use for our classes, not for food, but for our classes, for our prayer offerings. We have some teas here for our health. We have some cacao nibs that we add to our coffee. We have tinctures. We have some teas here as well, and also traditional foods. So the reason why we have this table is for you, and I hope that you will think of traditional ways, cultural ways to incorporate your foods and your traditions into the holidays. For us, for Native Americans, a lot of our tribes will celebrate the end of the season, the harvest of all the food that grows on Mother Earth, and also the winter solstice. So we think about these as our holidays, and a lot of times we have ceremonies along these times that incorporate our traditional foods. I will get to this section here, which is our soup that we are making, but I first wanted to talk to Julie and to Stephen and ask them about their traditional foods and what their tribes do during these times, during the holidays, what foods they prepare, what ceremonies they prepare, and so forth. So, Julie, would you like to go?
I'm part Aleut on my mom's side and Italian from my dad's. So I know growing up, I was raised more Italian because my mom didn't know a lot of what her tribe did through the holidays. I'm learning now a lot of stuff on and off. I try to go to Google, I try to reach out to other people that are from Alaska. And so as far as I know right now on my Alaskan side is that they do a lot of smoked salmons, and they start gearing up through the winter in the smokehouses and put those up. And they do a lot of that. My grandma used to send me jars of smoked salmon when I was little, and it was the best smoked salmon ever. I looked forward to Christmas and the holidays every year just for the smoked salmon. And so I know I have at Grocery Outlet, and this is not a shout out to the store, but they sell this awesome smoked salmon from Alaska for like $6. And so I have that around the table along with, and the Italian side has all like the nuts, like the mixed nuts that you crack open, and it's always been a fun thing. So between the mixed nuts and the smoked salmon, and I bring out, of course, like crackers and cheeses, and we just sit around the table and munch and play games. And so that's like a yearly thing with my girls, and we try to keep that going each year. I know they do ceremonies this time of year, and they cook a lot of foods. They gather around and just share stories. It's mainly just getting together, sitting together, sharing stories and stuff like that. So that much I do know about my tribe right now.
Great. Thank
Yeah.
you, Julie.
You're welcome.
Stephen?
Hey, yeah, Steve Garcia. As recently, Kat said, hey, you found your family history here. Looking, the Tongva people of Los Angeles, looking at names from the San Gabriel Gabrielino mission. But you know me, I always say Mission Impossible, we're Tongva. And this is the people of the Kitch, the people of the huts off Pimut, Catalina Island. So we're basically the Los Angeles Basin Hollywood Indians. And yeah, every year, you know, I was actually raised in Hawaii up until I was 17, 18 years old. And so when we moved over here, it was really good to meet with a lot of relatives and such. Every once in a while they'd come and visit us, and that was always good. But my nana would always make the tamales, you know, and I remember especially coming back when we came here, standing around and mixing the masa. We did it a few times in Hawaii, but the masa on the corn husks and making the mole and mixing it in. And one of my friends over here, when I was describing our tamales, asked me, he said, how do you guys make them? And I said, oh, you know, with the meat and the olives and the raisins. And he said, you guys make them like the Mission San Gabriel. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, because a lot of people say, you put raisins in your tamales? And he said, yeah. So the foods that we would eat, you know, the nuts, gathering the acorns, we wish, they call it shawi here in the Kumeyaay country, the porridge, and, you know, hunting the rabbits, the quails, all the different plants and the animal food that we would celebrate with, and especially like the coastal natives with the fish and smoked salmon. When you mentioned that, I love smoked salmon. And yeah, basically, you know, most people are pretty generally that closely related in the way that we celebrate things and food. And as Kat said, the winter solstice, the changing months, the changing years. People don't think we have that in California, but we do. You know, I saw a post the other day that said, winter in the morning, by noon it's springtime, summertime for a few hours, and then fall. So that's in one day. And, but yeah, I always love the holidays because of the food and the gathering of family and friends. And thank you. Doing it the proper way, I would say, Tehovet, Meha, Yupilcha, Shoshot, Chichon, Ashua. This means Wambli Ishta, Chapisaba, hey, the black star-eyed eagle. But my Indian name is Steve Garcia. So thank you.
Thank you, Stephen.
You're welcome.
Okay, so back to our table here of traditional foods, plant medicine. I would like, if Julie, you can hold up a jar and just show, just name what herb is in there.
Okay, so this is Lakota goldenrod tea.
Okay, and then the other one in front of you.
We have Lakota nettle leaf tea.
Okay,
And then moving on down, we have Lakota raspberry leaf tea.
okay, great. And this is echinacea root
Okay.
from the Black Hills.
That's cool.
And these are rose hips. And then in front of Julie, this is our tobacco mixture that we use for our offerings. And then that is called timsilat. And these are wild turnips off the plains where my tribal territories are. And this braid is, this is how we store them in the winter. In the summer, when they're ready, we dig them up, and there's an outer peel that we peel off, and then with the roots, we'll make this long braid. And we hang them in our kitchens, and whenever we're making a soup, a lot of times there'll be dried deer meat in that soup. We'll cut off a couple of those wild turnips, and it will rehydrate in the soup, and it's very nutritious and tastes very good. So this is from my tribe in South Dakota. And in front of Julie, if you want, can you hold up what else we have?
And cornucopia?
Yeah.
Okay. So you do have more of your turnips.
Okay.
I see. And then we have some of it.
We have some Indian corn.
Okay, that's it on that one, but I do see a jar here.
Yes. And that's maple syrup. And that's indigenous.
We have that
And
sugar.
then a pomegranate. So pomegranates grow here in San Diego in Kumeyaay territory. And I don't know if they're indigenous to San Diego or if they were brought in, but they're here now and they're very nutritious. And it's a good way to incorporate the vitamins that you need during this season into your food. And one thing I like to make with the pomegranates and the maple syrup is Brussels sprouts. So I'll put them in a crock pot and add the syrup, add a little water, and add the pomegranates. and it tastes so good. And the children love that recipe, okay? And then in front here, you'll see all these different teas. And the thing I love about teas is, you know, you see it in its dry form, but I always think about them in their full form, like from seed to plant and then to harvest. And it's a great way to honor Mother Earth. And I myself feel like when I'm drinking a cup of tea, it's like ceremony. It's having gratitude and honor from Mother Earth for all the plants that she grew for us for our health. So these are all different types of herbal teas. In front here, I also wanted to share this. It's called a pumpkin spice trail mix. So you see there's pumpkin seeds in here as well. So anything seasonal I like to add into our diet as well. In front here you'll see our Three Sisters soup cooking in this crock pot, and we added everything you see here is in this crock pot. So we have 2 cans of tomatoes, we have black beans, we have a can of corn. We also added fresh corn. We've added this squash here. We have onions and garlic and all these spices. We have vegetable stock, salt, and if you would like, you could also add more to the soup. So we have rice here, it's wild rice, so you could always add that. Anything indigenous to your tribe, any type of vegetable, like I could have added the turnips as well to the Three Sisters soup. But this is a great choice for the holidays for your family, and also keeping the indigenous foods, you know, in your life and in your regular meal planning.
Did you put butternut in that?
Yeah, there's butternut squash as well. So do you have any tips on the 3-bean soup or any information you'd like to add to it?
I do want to let you know that everybody's going to be, we are going to drop off the recipe for everybody that participates with our trainings and along with all the ingredients, so you can make the soup at home with this. And the activity that's going to be part of this training is the corn husk dolls, and then everybody's going to be able to make those too. So the activity is the corn husk doll, and then you guys get to have fun making the Three Sisters soup. And like Kathy said, you can incorporate anything you want from your tribe into this soup. The meats that you like, you can even make it. You know, this is vegetarian, this version, but you can make it with the meat in it as well too. So
Yes.
It's all up to you and what's comfortable for your home.
Yes, you can even put bison in it if you have bison
Yum.
or elk or deer meat, fish, like Julie said.
Definitely.
Any tips as well?
Kangaroo rats from the desert. Hey, they're actually pretty good. Yeah, rabbit, you know, tasted some really good rabbit stew, and quail, you name it, it's, you can throw it in there. I wouldn't put fish in it though, that's pretty much.
Yeah, that might be questionable. That might be questionable, maybe not
It's got
that
swimming
one.
around.
But definitely the beef, so the rabbit, chicken, hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us for this part. We're going to maybe take a picture or have a close-up so that you could see the soup and how beautiful it is. And
I can post that, I can take
Okay.
a picture
So
and I'll put it
Julie-
on there.
Julie will take a picture and show you. But anything else do we want to share?
No, I think that's it on this part.
Okay, so thank you everybody, and we really would love to hear back what types of traditional foods your tribe uses, what you use, what your children love to eat, and is it difficult to find traditional foods? For myself, I know it's hard to find buffalo roasts. Like I can find the buffalo hamburger at Costco, but that's the only thing I can find. And I'm really hoping to expand on our Lakota diet. And that's why I use a lot of the herbs and teas, because I can access those through the mail. So thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Hello, Stephen again. Hey, Black Star at Eagle. Anyway, I guess what we're talking about today is, I don't guess, I know what we're talking about today, dolls. And never thought at close to the age of 61 here I'd be talking about dolls, but here we go. The project that they will be doing today is dolls, and so this is why we're talking about it. They asked me to bring a few dolls here, and when my daughters were born, or little, I actually made them a few dolls. This one was for Cheyenne, and she's in a elk hide, elk dress, elk hide, everything on this. And traditionally, there would be no face on this doll. In the old days, they would make a doll so that you would be projecting somebody you knew or even yourself on a doll. So with this one, I actually hand painted the face and airbrushed some work on this, made the hands. But what Kat said reminded me to tell people that we actually stuffed it with buffalo hair, other elk hide, and the hearts have sweetgrass and sage mixed together, a little bit of cedar. And so I stuffed them in there too, and that would give it a good smell. But it was more so for the medicine. When she was younger, I did this with yarn and said maybe someday I'll do it with horsehair. But they kept it the way it was with the yarn. And I always thought it was cool. She loved this doll. And in time, the face wears down a little bit because of the play. And this one right here, I made Tate a man, because I said, well, she needs somebody to hang out with. Not necessarily a man, doesn't have to be. But this one I made with his leggings and his breechcloth, and same thing with the yarn hair and the medicine braid, the top knot, and I painted his face too. Gave him gauntlets, the gloves that they used to like to wear. And I said in time we would paint designs on them and such, but they left that the way it was. And at the same time, Kat said, you need to make him a buffalo doll. We saw one in a book. This one wasn't like the one in the book. I decided I was going to make him a buffalo look like a buffalo. And so I took a real buffalo hide, actually soaked it and folded it, sewed it and flipped it around, and then took scissors and trimmed it down so its face would be there, and gave it little eyes. You can hardly see the eyes. At the time I was going to put bear claws for horns, but they were little and I didn't want them getting hurt, so I just made stuffed horns. And I was going to put real hoofs on these, but never got to that. Little buffalo tail. So they have their buffalo here because the buffalo is nutrition. The reason being for the dolls is because this taught them how to, incorporate them in, all girls and boys like to play with dolls when they're little. And this one right here was given to Kat as a gift. And I thought they did excellent work on that dress. It's like a traditional dress with the beads as elk teeth. And same thing with the yarn and the belt and the beaded moccasins. This one right here I thought was really cool. When she went to entrepreneur or medicine food course, it was indigenous foods and medicines. There was a Dene lady selling them. I thought it was really cute because I see a lot of kids with their hair dyed this color nowadays. But I said, hey, we got the same shoes. My brother gave me some Dene, some Nikkeis. So I said, hey, we got the same shoes. But I thought this was a really cute doll, and it looks like it's sleeping, so it's a good nighttime doll in her little camp dress here. So what we're going to do is move on over to the project that they're going to be working on with the corn husk dolls. And that's a traditional doll, corn husk doll. Thank you.
All right, everybody, so Stephen said we were doing corn husk dolls, and we are. And we actually do this every year with the kids with 2B2. It's really fun. So everybody is going to have in their bags the recipe for the Three Sisters soup, and they're going to have an activity of the corn husk doll that everybody's going to be able to make one each in the family. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So when you get your corn husks, you're going to know that they're very dry and brittle when you do get them at first. So what I did is you get a bucket or a bowl, And you can put the amount that you're gonna need inside the bowl, and you're gonna have a warm water, and just let it soak for a good 15 minutes, because you want them to be able to bend without snapping. So I already did that already. So we're gonna make our first corn husk doll, and it's 4 pieces. It has to be in even numbers. So it's gotta be either 4 or 8, and so on and so forth, for the body. So we all have been given 4 pieces of corn husk, and you just wanna get them as even as possible along the bottom, just as even as possible. Some of them are gonna be a little bit longer than others, but you're just gonna do the best you can. So I've layered all 4 of my pieces, just like that. So now, we're gonna tie off, and you can use raffia, you can use yarn, you can use twine, you can use sinew, because that's what originally they would have used. Thank you very, very much. So I'm gonna cut off some string so everybody can get it. Or you can use raffia. Do you guys have a preference of twine or raffia?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
Either's fine with
Okay,
us.
so I'm gonna cut off a big piece, one for each of you, because we're gonna be cutting off pieces throughout.
Okay.
And then Stephen, you guys have your scissors?
Yes.
Awesome sauce. So I'm just gonna cut off a big one. So, and I'll have instructions in your bag too as well. And I'll also have a link on the bottom of the YouTube video that you guys are gonna watch, and I'll have Atley put a link on the bottom if you wanna go to YouTube and watch this really cool link I found that that she was making them with. So once you get them as even as you can along the bottom, and I've noticed that these are a little shorter, so I'm gonna put these on the inside like this, because you can see how some are shorter along the top than the others. You're gonna grab about a good inch up from the top. You're gonna like a cone, and you're gonna want to wrap it right here. A good inch from the top, you're gonna want to wrap it together. So you're gonna cut off a piece of as long as you think you're gonna need, and cut off extra. It's all good.
Julie, do we roll it in?
Kind of cone.
Kind of cone it,
Okay,
because I'll show you why.
I see.
So kind of cone it as much
Okay.
as you can, the best you
Okay.
can. It's all good.
Okay.
And then you're gonna tie along the top. You're gonna tie as tight as you can, about an inch from the top. So you're gonna take it, you're gonna tie a good knot and tight, because you don't want them falling out or slipping from underneath. So I'm just gonna do one double knot. And I'll make for you. So it'll be like that from the top. And that's your first step. And you'll notice these are kind of wet still, so I did have paper towel, but you can have like a bath towel on the bottom just to kind of, pick up that extra moisture that comes off of it from soaking. So once you're done with that, okay, awesome. Now you're gonna find, because you layered them, you need to find the top 2 very carefully. Be careful, because this one is splitting down the middle, so just be very careful with it. You're gonna take your top layer like a banana peel, and you're gonna move it down. You're gonna just go to the bottom, and you're gonna cover that little area down here at the bottom where you tied it. So it's gonna be, you'll see it like this, but you're gonna do this.
Just the top layer.
And you're gonna keep on going. So you're gonna put 2 layers, the 2 outside layers, you're gonna pull down around one side of it, because you'll see what I'm gonna do. And just go down to that little, where you tied it, where the yarn is at. So you'll have 2 like this, and you'll see this part, so you see it like this, and then the other 2, you're gonna bring opposite. So you can't see this middle part. You're gonna bring this down and fold over. So, let's see if I can. So now I'm gonna try to grab, it's kinda, cause these are big, tamale leaves, man.
I was just gonna
Tamale,
say,
these
the
are-
Ojas, man.
These are, man, I'm used to working with the smaller leaves, but this is okay, we can do this. So I'm gonna bring it down so you can't see the middle. So you want 2 on each side opposite, like that, the best you can. Kinda looks like a ghost when you're done with it.
Cousin it.
Cousin it, yes, cousin it, perfect.
Good.
Yep, perfect.
Okay. So,
Okay, so now, you've got them flip-flopped on each side.
yeah.
You know this middle piece right here, this is your head. So when I say this is your head, I'm gonna flip this middle piece, and I'm gonna show you guys in 1 second over here, Kathy and Stephen, hold on. I'm gonna flip this as much as I can in. Now, you can use a cotton ball to stuff inside here to form a head. You can use a ping pong ball depending on the size of your leaves that you're using. But you're gonna just go in, invert it, and bring it back down and cover it, like that. So,
Okay.
so like that. And then this is your head right now. So you're gonna grab another piece of your raffia or your string, whatever you're using, because you're gonna wanna tie, like a necklace, a tight around where my thumbs are holding it to create that head for your doll. So you're gonna grab some more string when you get to that point, because you kinda have to mold it and play with it and get it to where you need it to be. Let's see. So we're gonna go along that and create the head. And like, yeah, I need longer string than that, so I'm gonna use a long
If you take
piece.
the string that you got and you do it like around twice and then tie it,
Oh.
it'll hold into place.
Okay, awesome. But you just wanna create that face.
Now
And-
it looks like E.T.
Yeah, and corn husk dolls, like Steven said, they don't have faces. And you can put a face on there. You can put eyes on there. You can glue googly eyes. You can glue beads. You can glue buttons. You can take a pen and you can make a face on there if you want to. But corn husk dolls originally do not have faces. And I did find a really cool story about the corn husk doll that I'm gonna go ahead and put in your packet as well, so you can share it with your family. So then it looks like that when you're done with that part. There's your face. I've seen people with that, when they do their corn husks dolls, there's so many cool ones out there. I've seen some really pretty ones they made, and some have hair for yarn for hair. And you can use a hot glue gun down here, put some in here, and you can do your yarn, and you can have it, and you can do hair too. So now we're down to the body. Now we're gonna move on to the arms of the corn husk, and you can leave that excess string hanging out. Nobody's gonna see it right now, we're good. So now moving on to the arms, awesome. Now the arms are gonna be two smaller pieces, if you can find, or otherwise we can just cut them down, so don't worry about if they're big. You're gonna do your corn husk laying like this, and then opposite, kind of like the wings, so like this, and this, and you're gonna put it one over the other. One over the other, and then you're gonna put it flat on the table, and you're gonna roll it tight. You're gonna roll it tight. And you're just gonna take it and roll it as tight as you can. Tight as you can. Wow. Let me try one more time, because that was tight. I'm just gonna do the best we can. Okay. So once you have it rolled as tight as you can, it's gonna look like that. And what I'm gonna do is, we're gonna roll. This is what I'm gonna have you guys do. You're gonna take some string, and I want you to put some string on this side and on this side. So one on each side, of string on each side.
Okay.
Just to kind of keep it so it doesn't unravel,
Oh, okay.
because we're gonna insert it into the doll to make the arms. So I'm just gonna, I'll give you guys a lot of twine, so, because it's better to have more than not enough.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna take it, and you can use your guide, you can just leave an inch on each side and tie it. Let's see here. I feel like it's gonna unravel if I don't do this first. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and I'll show you what I've got. I'm gonna do it on both sides. So far I have that on one side, but I'm gonna do it one more time on this side. Kathy and I made these, like I said, we make these every year with 2B. I still have a couple here that
That's why you guys are so
done.
good at this.
Yeah, I'm getting it.
My arms are kind
So-
of husky.
I have this one I made, and we had felt clothes, and I did use a glue gun for these to kind of help out.
Yeah, that's cute.
So I got a button here, and her little headdress thingy, And then I got the boy here, so they're really fun to make, and you can make a whole family. Every year you can make 1 or 2 each. So now you're gonna go to your doll, and you're gonna find that middle piece, that middle part. So you're gonna very carefully kind of, that's the one side, and this is the one side. So you're gonna find that middle part where you tuck that head in as best as you can. And you're gonna take the arms and right down the middle part. See, like, oh, sorry, she's
2
backwards.
husks on each side.
Yep, and you're gonna like, just get it to the center, and see, there she is. She's got her arms here. We're gonna do 1 more tie, and we're almost done. So once you have the arms set up in there as high as they can go, up in, you're gonna take some twine, and right underneath those arms, you're gonna tie another tie around it. And you can add beads to this thank you. You can tie it in the front. Oh, I'm gonna tie it in the front, I'll show you what I'm talking about. 'Cause you can add so much stuff to these dolls. They're really fun after a while, because you can do so much. You can use, I have cloth here. You can dress it up with cloth. You can,
That's a hip
felt, yeah. Yeah, I like that one, has the hip, like 60s and stuff, how fun. And then what I can do is I'll tie it in a knot, but you can use beads. So here, I'll stop talking. Just fix her up a little bit for you guys. I'm gonna cut off the ends that are kind of hanging off the arm, so it doesn't look so tacky. And I'm gonna cut it off. I'm gonna show you. Cut off that. Just kind of clean up that. Bam. So here's your corn husk doll, like that. And like I said, you can dress them up in all kinds of stuff. You can glue stuff on. Once it dries, you can glue stuff on them too. I left it long because I do want to put some beads along this right here, which I think would look really pretty to have some beads along her, or even shells and beads. I mean, you could do so much. You can glue on the googly eyes, the buttons. You can do beads. You can paint on it. You can draw, use markers on it. But we really hope you have fun with these. They're really simple. There's a story that goes along with the corn husk doll, and I will put that in your packets. Don't forget, there is a survey. It'll have 5 questions, and it'll probably be the questions that Kathy was asking earlier in the segment about what you guys do, what you guys make, and stuff like that. 5 questions on that. You fill out 2 surveys, you will get a $50 gift card from Scare, and we hope you enjoy it, everything that we've showed you today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.